lawmaker leaving an unsolicited voicemail on her cell phone. She gave a recording of the message to CNN.
This is your favorite tax collector. I'm up in the Panhandle with your favorite U.S. Congressman, Mr. Gaetz.
Hi, Anna.
And we were just chatting about you and talking about your lovely qualities. And
we think you're the future of the Democratic Party in Florida.
Additionally, information that may connect Gaetz to a fake ID scheme at the center of Greenberg's case was presented to federal investigators at a meeting last year. Sources familiar tell CNN. Greenberg had entered a plea of not guilty. Attorneys for Greenberg and Gaetz had no comment.
This is a grown-ass man walking around like a teenager, trolling people, doing these pranks with a gas mask. But don't just focus on Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is one guy. Focus on the enablers. Focus on the Republican voters who have been loving the show, right? This disgusting, corrupt human being ruining the Republican Party, a threat to conservative values, right? He is one of the very reasons why the Republican Party struggles to win the popular vote. Because they are a party that has people like Matt Gaetz who, for all of this nonsense, no one says anything. The voters, they sit down, they watch the news media, and they see him with his gas mask, and he's owning the libs, ah! Right? Conservative media, they love having him on. Yeah, come on here and say some stuff about the libs. Yeah, the left, this, and the violence, pander to them, and thereby doing that pander to the audience. This guy that has a track record, a criminal track record, drug use. And here they are saying they knew about the dating of really, really, really young women. And now we're hearing potentially even children, right? But they knew at least about, hey, he's dating these really, really young. Like, look, what are you doing dating fresh out of college at your age? I mean, this is the kind of things that we see with sexual predators, right? Look at Donald Trump with all the accusations, right? He has a track record as well of making inappropriate comments about very, very young women. Even his own daughter talking about her breasts. Yet, conservatives stand up behind Trump. Conservative media stands up behind Trump. They do the same thing with Matt Gaetz. But fake outrage about Dr. Seuss. Fake outrage about Mandalorian. Fake outrage about Mr. Potato Head. Meanwhile, you have this disgusting human being embarrassing you and damaging your movement, damaging your image as a conservative or Republican. Yet you support him. You support a potential child sex trafficker because you're such a partisan. You'd rather focus on Nancy Pelosi, the clown that she is. You'd rather focus on her than this guy. How about you drain your swamp so you can have a healthy, strong Republican Party which is capable of effectively owning the libs through legislation, through leadership, rather than theatrics and trolling.
Matt Gaetz seen here wearing a gas mask as the House passed a multi-billion-dollar funding bill to fight the coronavirus outbreak.
What we see from this Marxist movement in Black Lives Matter to totally overturn our country.
The left in America has incited far more political violence than the right.
What we see in this impeachment is a kangaroo court, and Chairman Schiff...
This is what you guys like? Political theater? The same stuff you call out the left for doing? It's okay when someone on your side does it, right? I'm not special. I'm not a genius. Why is it so easy for me to clown on Pelosi with her theatrics, with the garb and the kneeling, right? Remember that stunt that she pulled? Why is it so easy for me to clown on her and do the same thing with Matt Gaetz? Why is it that I'm able to just tell it like it is? But yet, you guys are so easy to point out the left and the liberals and the Democrats. Someone on your side, Mr. Potato Head.
Is acting like a malicious Captain Kangaroo.
There was ballot laundering going on here.
Do you guys even understand that Matt Gaetz thinks you're an idiot? Donald Trump thinks you're an idiot. Mitch McConnell thinks you're an idiot. These individuals are playing you guys for fools. They know the stuff that you'll eat up, so they keep feeding it to you, thinking you'll be dumb enough to fall for it, right? You'll be dumb enough to keep voting for them and keeping them in power and keeping quiet about their wrongdoings if they just put on a good enough show for you. Oh, the left, the liberals, no. Hey, baby, I know you're only 15 years old, but come back up to my room. Matt Gaetz, what are you doing? Oh, the libs. Good job, Matt Gaetz. Keep it up. What about the underage? Potato head.
This is your coup. This is your siege. This is your insurrection. With your support for Donald Trump, you have brought this shame to America. You authorized this. You condoned this. You supported this. You, Matt Gaetz, and you will be held accountable. This disgrace is all yours.
East on Interstate 10, just beyond Palm Springs, he lost control of his car, which jumped the median and skidded to a stop on the shoulder of the westbound side. He called Hertz, which came to collect the damaged car and gave him a second rental. The Hertz rental officer told me he found a crack pipe in the car and on one of the consoles a line of white powder residue. Bo Biden.
This is a guy who has a long history of substance abuse, one that even dips into criminal. So, like many people in the Republican Party, not unlike those in the Democratic Party, he doesn't really care about the things that he talks about, doesn't really stand for much. It's all theater.
Biden's Attorney General badge was on the dashboard. Hertz called the Prescott Police Department and officers filed a narcotics offense report listing items seized in the car, including a plastic bag containing white powdery substance, a Secret Service business card, credit cards, and Hunter Biden's driver's license. That is what we would call evidence. And I don't want to make light of anybody's substance abuse issues. I know the president's working real hard to solve those throughout the country, but it's a little hard to believe that Burisma hired Hunter Biden to resolve their international disputes when he could not resolve his own dispute with Hertz rental car over leaving cocaine and a crack pipe in the car.
Yes, Hunter Biden was not qualified for the job that he got, and he got paid way too much money. Reeks of corruption. But Mr. Gaetz has no right or place to be talking about it. He's not the one. Glass house.
Mr. Chairman, I rise in opposition to this amendment, and I would say that the pot calling the kettle black is not something that we should do. I don't know what members, if any, have had any problems with substance abuse, been busted in DUI. I don't know. But if I did, I wouldn't raise it against anyone on this committee. I don't think it's proper.
Just when you think the GOP couldn't with ideas.
That's what James Carville was doing when he was saying that people are going to die if they show up and vote. That was voter suppression coming directly from. It wasn't Republicans saying don't show up and vote.
You shouldn't be talking about people dying because people in your district saw you making fun of this and took this less seriously.
You are such a joke. The fact that you can't substantively argue the point and you have to pretend to ascribe voters to me is a testament to the fact that you don't have the intellectual ability to have an actual debate.
We've got to flatten the curve. Getting too personal. Guys, getting too personal. All right, we're going to go. All right, up ahead, the White House is considering a...
This is Matt Gaetz.
Mendacious Hypocrisy. Volume 3, How to Grandstand. While last week you feared for your life, today you're queasy with the sense that you might need to do something. But with our simple Trump-proven system, you won't have to do anything at all. Step 1. Ignore everything you've ever said or done in the past and condemn the behavior you encouraged as recently as your last tweet.
We've condemned all the violence all the time.
Step 2. Blame the other side.
Democrats have spent all this time endorsing and enabling violent riots.
Where's the accountability for the left?
Trump supporters harassed wherever they are, in restaurants, on the street.
Remember that time Sarah Huckabee Sanders was politely asked to leave a local restaurant? That was basically as bad as armed Nazis storming the Capitol. Step 3. If you have to tell a lie, tell a lot of them, all at once.
The president who cut taxes, the president who reduced regulations, the president prior to COVID had the greatest economy, lowest unemployment in 50 years, and who built the wall.
Whoa, list wasn't long enough? Stall for time with a history of aviation.
Kitty Hawk, North Carolina in 1903. 44 years later.
Just yell real loud. Loud enough for the president to hear you and pardon you before the FBI arrives for a friendly chat.
Well, they lit actual flames, actual fires, and we put them out.
Expired. There will be order in the House.
I yield back.
Well, that's all for now. Join us next time.
Matt Gaetz is a clown, but the even bigger clown are all the people who enable his behavior. All the conservatives, all the Republican voters who are silent about this guy, but loud about even the most trivial issue on the left. All the conservative media channels who are loud about the left and owning the libs and the Democrats. And yet even now, as he's accused of potential sex trafficking, silent is Crowder. Silent is Shapiro. Silent is Blaze TV. Matt Gaetz is one man. But in order for there to be a Matt Gaetz, it takes millions of Americans on the right who are silent and therefore support this kind of disgusting creature as Matt Gaetz. It requires a conservative media structure that supports this potential child trafficker by being silent about him while loud about even the most trivial of things on the left. That's the bigger problem. The conservative media network and the Republican voters who enable this kind of disgusting corruption. You can hate the left and own the libs and call out whatever you disagree with and what they're doing. Too many taxes, all these, everybody should pull themselves up by the bootstraps. You could be all that. But if any of that means anything to you, if you have any character, you will also be up in arms about Matt Gaetz. Because if you're not, that invalidates every single thing that you claim to stand for. This is Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.